There's a pattern a lot of people may or may not recognize in themselves, and that pattern can be expressed in a sentence. A sentence or an unseen attitude that we have. And that is, I feel like I have to keep everyone happy. I feel like it's my job to make sure everyone else in my little group or my little family is happy. You can know if you have this trait or not if you say yes when you really don't mean to, or if you tend to passively go along with everybody else to avoid friction, or if you think about how others will feel before you think about how you will feel. If you exhibit these types of behaviors, um, you may have this, and over time, this kind of an attitude, which is an unseen attitude, it can become exhausting. You can get exhausted by putting the needs of other people first before your own, because you're not living your life, you're kind of living their life. And in a way, you're interfering with them because they're not getting like a clean experience, because you are right on top of them saying, are you okay? Or you're more focused on them than you are yourself. So you may have some of this, or you may not, but I know you've heard what I'm going to say next, and that is that this kind of behavior is often called people pleasing. People pleasing. I remember I was at a party once and I heard someone, you're walking around the party and you hear a snippet of a conversation, and I heard a man say, quote, "Oh, I'm a people pleaser from way back." And he and the people he was talking with there, chatting with, they laughed. Somebody had said something about people pleasing, and he had agreed and chimed in and said, "Oh, that's me. I'm one of those types from a long time ago." I remember hearing that, because you don't hear that kind of a sentence every day. He said it. And I don't know if he was being forthright about it and saying, "Oh yeah, that's me," or if he was just, you know, like saying the right sentence at the right time so that there would be a joke, a humor. I don't know if he was just saying it to be, in jest at that moment. I didn't know the man. So people pleasers, when they sense they're living to please other people, they may try to fix this by telling themselves, "Well, I need to set boundaries. I can't be going around like this. I need to be more assertive. I need to put my needs first." But even when it's understood that, yeah, don't be a people pleaser, be a you need to be a self pleaser first. Even when that's understood on the surface, the the pattern, the behavior often continues, because this isn't just being a people pleaser, doesn't indicate surface. That's not a surface behavior. It goes deeper than that. And that's actually why we're making this video right now, this topic. When you feel like you have to please everyone in your group, in your family, maybe at work, maybe you take that with you to work, and maybe you're a people pleaser around the office. What's really happening is you're trying to manage how other people experience you. See, that's a form of control. being a people pleaser is a form of control. And I bet you anything you never thought of that before. I hadn't until I sat down and really looked at it, because this is something. Being a people pleaser is something. I've known men and women who were like this. Um, you don't want people to be upset with you. You can't handle that. To have someone disagree with you, so you just go over. You bend over backwards being agreeable with them, or you don't want to disappoint somebody else or a group of people. You just can't live with that. With, gee, I disappointed somebody else. You can't live with that. So you bend over backwards. You become a people pleaser, right? Or you don't want to be seen in a negative light, and you think, unless I acquiesce, I will be seen in a negative light. So you are adjusting yourself. But if you're a people pleaser, you are adjusting yourself too much. Easier said than done. Easier described than remedied. But that's the facts of the matter, right? And when you adjust yourself, that adjustment can become automatic, and it probably is automatic. You don't even notice it happening most of the time. In a in a conversation with someone, you might find yourself agreeing when you actually don't agree, but you may say, "Oh yeah, that's right," when deep down you're like, "Oh, I don't believe in that at all," or "I don't agree with that at all." But on the surface, you're trying to people please. Oh yeah, nah. You're going along with it again, or you hold back instead of expressing what you really think, or you're saying yes to something before you've even checked in with yourself and say, "Self, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to get involved with this?" And then come back with a clear and final no. No, that's not for me. I mean, how many times have you and I gotten involved with something that not we would not have got involved with had we simply said no at the very beginning, right? And the thing is, all of these things that we're describing, they all take energy. If I'm not being real, I'm draining myself. I'm exhausting myself. If I'm not being real, if I'm not self-observing and getting to know self and self-understanding, if I'm not doing that, then I'm living from a false self, and that can be very depleting. I could lose all my energy because I'm not being real. I'm not being what or who I really am. I'm living from a false picture of what I am, what I'm putting out to the world out there. Totally exhausting. It's another reason why everyone on the planet needs to learn how to self-observe, so you know finally who you are, so you don't waste yourself anymore. All that takes energy. If you're living from a false self, you are draining yourself. Forget other people draining you. You're draining your own self, because you're not acting from a place of clarity. You're acting and reacting and living from a place of chaos, confusion. You are reacting to the possibility of disapproval from people outside of you. See? And here's the key point. Let me get to the key point. People pleasing, it really isn't about other people. It's about your relationship to their reaction. how you relate to their reactions. It's not about them. It's about how you relate to their reactions. If if someone, for example, if someone might be disappointed, you feel you feel their disappointment before it ever happens. Even, you know what I mean? Even if it's not going to happen, you feel it before it even registers, before it's even been expressed. And you move to prevent it because you don't want that to happen at all. You don't want them to be disappointed so much that you're willing to just totally acquiesce and say, I don't want you to be, you don't say the words, but the sentiment is, I don't want you to be disappointed so much that I'm willing to totally bend over backwards and please you, give you whatever it is that you need. Which that's that's a, if you want to drain yourself, do that. That's guaranteed to drain yourself, right? So the behavior looks like, I'm being nice, I'm being considerate of other people, but underneath that is pressure, a lot of pressure, because it's false, because you're not being real. There's the pressure to be accepted, the pressure to avoid conflict. Let's not have any conflict. The pressure to stay in someone's good standing, in someone's good graces, lest they disapprove of me. You know what? Let them disapprove. Let them. That would be freeing. That would free you. You would be free. You would be like, wow, that feels different, and it feels good because you're free. But that's the pressure that keeps the pattern going. That pressure keeps the behavior going. Now, if you try to force yourself to stop people pleasing, that's not going to work. That's not going to work because the reaction is still there. The reaction's still there. You can say, I'm going to be more direct, but the moment you feel that internal tension, you're going to go right back to adjusting and adjusting yourself. So the real change, it doesn't come from changing the behavior first. The real change comes from seeing the behavior clearly. The real change comes from seeing the pattern clearly, how it plays out in real time, as it's happening. You're about to say yes, but you don't. You pause. Instead of saying yes, you just pause. You're about to agree, and you notice it. Oh, I'm about to agree. Here I go again. I'm about to agree. And or you feel the urge to say something to smooth things over. Just see that. Don't follow through with these things. Just, you can catch yourself too. You can catch yourself. And you're not trying to stop behavior. You're not trying to stop it. You're just trying to see it. You want to see it in real time, as it's happening. Because what you're seeing is the movement to protect how other people perceive you. That's what you're trying to protect. And you don't need to protect that at all. You don't have to do that at all. Because in reality, how other people perceive you, it doesn't add up to a hill of beans. Nothing. It's nothing. It's phantasmagoria. Pure fantasy, pure illusion. It's nothing. Phantasmagoria. My old friend John Chiquette used to say that word on occasion. Phantasmagoria. Pretty good word. That's what it is. It means mental nothingness, pure imagination. Nothing there. If you boiled it down, you'd end up with nothing. So when you actually see and you're observing, then that in that observation, space is created, and you may still say yes to things, you may still go along with things, but now you're aware of it. You're aware of it, and that awareness is your new best friend. That awareness is what you're striving for, because you're observing yourself. See, it's the awareness itself is what starts to uh, change the pattern, change the behavior. But it starts with awareness. You have to be aware. You have to see yourself in action. Okay, but it'll work. This will start working for you once you start self-observing. You observe yourself as you go through your day and in all interactions. Okay, over time, you will start to feel less pressure to manage everything. You won't need to. You'll realize that other people can have their reactions. That's fine. Let them react the way they're going to react. I don't have to control that. And I can't control that anyway. I can't control how someone else is going to react over anything. I can't. Then that doesn't make me inconsiderate. See, somehow you got the idea in your mind years ago, probably, that if someone else reacted wrongly, that you had somehow been inconsiderate. But no, that's erroneous. It doesn't make you more inconsiderate. It makes you more real. And their reactions are their reactions. That's on them. That's not about you. Their reactions are their reactions, which doesn't mean you're going to go around poking people with a stick trying to incite reactions from them. It just means that you are taking the responsibility for yourself. Now they equally can take responsibility for themselves. See, that's higher level. That's, you may be doing them a favor by letting them react any way that they're going to react, and you simply observe that also. But primarily, you're observing your own inner state. You're not concerned anymore with how they react. And in the past, you were. You know, that's why you were behaving that way. That's you were concerned about their reactions, that which caused you to become a people hyphen pleaser, which you don't have to do that at all. So if you feel like you have to please everyone, don't don't rush in to fix that. You don't have to. You can start by just seeing it. Just see it. Just see it. Because once you see behavior clearly, that behavior no longer runs automatically. Once you see it, and that's the key word, the seeing. In the seeing is the freeing. When you see, when you observe, you are free. the self-observation changes how you relate with other people, and it changes it for so much the better. So avail yourself of this.